Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK back at you with another video here. It's breaking on the 10-game NBA main slate on Wednesday. A couple things before I get into the video. If you're new to the channel, my name's DK. I make daily videos talking about NBA DFS as well as NFL DFS. I'm also running a weekly $20 PayPal giveaway on my channel. How it works, all you have to do is leave a like and a comment in the video. That's one entry in the giveaway. Max one comment though per video. So it started with my Monday NBA video that I uploaded at the beginning of the week. We'll go throughout the week, and we'll end in my Monday NBA video at the end of the week. So however many videos I've uploaded for the week, you can enter the giveaway that many times. So if I have 10 videos uploaded for the week, you can enter the giveaway 10 times. And again, the winner sees $20 PayPal for myself. But with that out of the way, let's jump into the video. So first, look back at my lineup here from Tuesday's 6-game slate. So this is my final lineup here. I want more stars and scrubs with Elliot Kobo, Devin Booker, Dylan Brooks, PJ Tucker, Damian Jones, Trae Young, Larry Nance, and James Harden. So yeah, it just really opened up. There's a lot of good spend ups on the slate. With Harden, with Booker, with D'Angelo Russell, with Doncic, with Giannis. So really kind of made for a more stars and scrubs build for a lot of people. I mean, Elliot Kobo was super popular. Those Houston guys. A guy, Damian Jones, actually pretty big for me. 14.5 fantasy points around the first half. But yeah, the stars I went with, obviously, Trae Young, James Harden, and Booker. The value plays a Kobo. I ate the chalk there, 80% out. I knew he was going to be super popular. He's actually been a little bit disappointing, but he has gotten like 18 minutes in the first half, so it's good to see that at least he's getting the minutes. Dylan Brooks is a guy that I was going back and forth whether or not I wanted to play him. He's very scoring dependent, but rode with him there in the small forward. PJ Tucker, one of the value guys, obviously not off to a great start. Damian Jones, much better start there, I should say. 14.5 there in the first half, and then Trae Young, Larry Nance, and James Harden. So we'll see how it goes. But that was my lineup here for Tuesday. Okay, so we got again 10 games. Let me make sure I click on the right slate here. 10 games. Here we go. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the over-unders and spreads that are out right now. So we have Brooklyn and the 76ers sitting at 218 with the 76ers by 7.5 points. We have the Pistons and the Celtics sitting at 218. Celtics here by 9.5, so obviously there's a little bit of blowout risk there. We have Spurs at the Heat, 222. Miami favored by 5. We have the Raptors and the Thunder right now sitting at 213.5. OKC favored by 2. We have Wizards Bulls sitting at 227. Chicago favored by 4.5. And we have Portland and Houston right now sitting at 236. Houston favored by 8 points. Okay, so let's start with center today as always. Once again, Towns is questionable for I believe the 15th straight time in a row. I'm just assuming he's going to be out. I really do hate seeing Minnesota on the slate, though, just because they're such a headache. I will continue with my same breakdown of Minnesota as if Cat plays, I have no interest in anyone. If Cat misses, you can take shots on guys for GPPs, but I can't recommend any of them for cash games because of the inconsistent rotations. Jokic at 10.1K, he's also been a very streaky player, but he seems to be in this hot streak right now, right? 72, 55, 43, and 51 fantasy points. We do want to target bigs against Charlotte, even though Whiteside did kind of bust the last game, but they closed the Tolliver surprisingly. I'll talk about that more in a sec once I get to Whiteside. But yeah, I think Jokic is in play here as a GBP option there. The price is coming up now to 10.1K. It's not much of a great value anymore. Anthony Davis, again, the Lakers, it's always a late game, and he's made game time decisions, so we're probably not going to get this news until way later. If he misses, obviously you can look to LeBron as a spend up. You can look to Kuzma, who's actually really bad the last game, but Kuzma does get a huge boost. Anthony Davis. And then guys like JaVale McGee, Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard had a huge game. I think he had 21 and 15. So those four would be guys I would look to, obviously, if Anthony Davis can't go. If Anthony Davis plays at 10K, I'm fine with it, but I don't think he stands out as an amazing play. Drummond, so this is actually pretty concerning. He was not in foul trouble last game against the Pelicans. Only played 22 minutes. They just rode with Christian Wood. Jahlil Okafor just took Andre Drummond to town, just abused him. Okafor at 25 and 14. Drummond couldn't stay with him. That was pretty sad to watch, him getting just abused by Jahlil Okafor. It's just a strictly GPP play right now because his minutes Again, he was not in foul trouble, only played 22 minutes. So I can't go there as more of just a dart throw for GPPs. We still have no Joel Embiid. So I do like a good amount of Philadelphia guys. Again, those big four with Simmons, Horford, Tobias, and Richardson. Also, don't mind Vucevic at 8.5. Really bad spot here, but I think the price tag makes him in play. 28, 33, and 37 minutes that last game against Sacramento. So I'm okay with Vucevic because of the price tag. Again, don't really like the matchup though. So bonus at 8.3, I like the spot hit for him a good amount. They're going to list him as questionable. I think he's good to go. He's just kind of fighting through pain right now. But this is one of the better spots here. So at 8.3K, I think he is a good play. And the concern is, though, he's kind of fighting through that knee pain. Bam and Adebayo at 8.3. I think is priced about right. Now, can he still get you at this price? Yeah, he can. But I think he's priced accordingly. Whiteside, I like him, but he only got 24 minutes the last game. I wonder if that, maybe still dealing with that upper respiratory sickness or whatever he had. Really concerning, though, that they closed the Tolliver. We had not seen that in a long time. Like, Whiteside had been getting his, low to mid-30s minutes every single night he played. So that is definitely concerning that they closed the Tolliver. Now, Whiteside is going to be probably 2% owned in the slate. He's going to be super low owned because he burned a lot of people. Again, they closed the Tolliver. But there's a decent chance that he closes this game, and if that's the case, he probably gets 32 to 35 minutes. He can still get you there at this price. He's just going to be super, super low owned. So I don't mind Whiteside there for GPPs. Clint Capella at 8.1K. It is a back-to-back. We'll see how many minutes he plays tonight. Either way, I'm not super worried about him. I still think he gets about 35 or so minutes. Again, this game right now sitting at 236 over-under, the highest of the night so far. So, yeah, I have some interest there in Capella. Pascal Siakam, his first game back, that kind of limited him only 30 minutes. If we get news that he's going to be off a minutes restriction or not be on one at all, then I would have some interest here at 7.8. So that's something to keep an eye on. Ibaka, can't go there. Looks like Marc Gasol is coming back. Kristaps is once again questionable. If he misses, it's obviously a huge boost to a guy like Luka Doncic. LMA at 7.1 is okay. Tougher spot here against Miami, but we know he's going to get, about 30 to 35 minutes. He's normally a pretty safe option, so I'm okay with him. The Philadelphia guys, I do like a decent amount here in this match against Brooklyn. They're playing at a faster pace, obviously, with Kyrie in the offense. So, yeah, Horford at 6.7. I've been playing him last couple of slates. He's been pretty solid. He's a safe option, in my opinion, at this price. I don't think he's going to hurt you. His upside goes up, obviously, playing the center position. I've talked about that a few times now. But yeah, this is a spot where I do like the price for a good amount of the Philly guys, especially Horford, Tobias, and Ben Simmons. So I do like Al Horford a good amount there at that price. Miles Turner, 6.5, with Sabonis back. It just makes it tough. Now, he did still play 33 minutes the last game, but his upside is kind of capped. Like, he can still get you there. Both Sabonis in, that is, again, kind of limits his upside. Lauri Markkanen at 6.4. He's just been bad. I mean, even in a really good spot, I still don't think I can go there. Again, Gorgie Jang, I'm fine with it for GPP dart throw. Cantor, so I believe we have Tice listed as questionable. Where's Daniel Tice? Down here at 4.2. Yeah, he's listed as questionable. If Tice can't go again, I think we get about 25 minutes or so from Cantor, which is, I believe, what he got that last game at 26. If that's the case, he would stand out as one of the better mid-tier plays, so that's something to keep an eye on for sure. Marvin Bagley at 5.7, only played 23 minutes. I can't go there yet. I need to see him playing more minutes, like closer to 30 or so. Other options, let's see. Yeah, Dwight Howard and these Lakers centers, they would be viable if Anthony Davis misses. In 25 minutes, he had 44 fantasy points. 3 of the last 4 games, he's at 36, 38, and 44. So Dwight's playing some really good basketball. The issue is just the price tag now, right? 5.5 does kind of feel like a lot to pay for him. Let's see. Other options, Gafford at 4.9. They've been switching off, starting him, starting Thad Young. If he picks at the start, I have some interest. The issue is they've been using Luke Cornett a bit as well off the bench. So I don't think he plays huge minutes either way. Paul Millsap once again out, but they have Jeremy Grant priced accordingly, right? 5K. This is not enough meat on the bone for me at that price. Mahimi at 4.8. Don't think we have to do that. We have Thomas. He did play 31 minutes the last game, but we have Thomas Bryant. Did I miss Thomas Bryant? Oh, I did skip over him. So Thomas Bryant, they brought him off the bench his first game back in a while, only limited to 15 minutes. If we get news that he's going to start and be off his minutes limit, he would be one of my favorite plays. But, my best guess is they're probably still going to ease him into it a little bit, maybe keep him on like a 20 or 25 minutes limit. So we'll see. This is something to keep an eye on for sure. Christian Wood, so he got extended there. 26. Now, this game against Chicago, Drummond got ejected. But this game against the Pelicans, Drummond was not in foul trouble. And Christian Wood got 26 minutes. So, I think he's worth a shot for GPPs. Again, we don't know what Dwayne Casey's going to do, but just kind of out of nowhere, he just limited Drummond's minutes. So that is concerning. It's a good thing for Wood, but I don't know if we can expect 26 minutes from him again, right? So it makes it more of a risky GPP option for sure, but at least, again, we know the upside is there with him. Marc Gasol expects to play again, so that kind of takes Ibaka out of play. Other options, again, McGee, him and Dwight would be, I would have some interest there if Anthony Davis can't go. Other options, so Cody Zeller actually started that last game for Charlotte, played 23 minutes. I believe Biyombo didn't even see any run. Let me confirm that. It was 113. Yeah, so he didn't even play that last game. They used Cody Zeller. Then I believe they used Hernan Gomez as the backup. 3.2. They did. He played 16 minutes. So I don't think we expect Hernan Gomez to, though, shoot 6 of 6 and 7 of 8 in limited time. But he's at least worth a dart throw, I guess, at that price. I think Cody Zeller is the safer option here at 3.9K. If he starts once again, I think we probably get 25 or so minutes. Even in a tough spot, if that's the case, if he starts, Cody Zeller would be one of the top value plays in my opinion. So, yeah, I do like him a good amount. I like that he's power forward eligible too, so we don't really have to use one of our center spots if we don't want to. So, yeah, I'm perfectly fine with Zeller if he starts. I think he stands as one of the better plays. Other options, I think that is really it, though. Yeah, so let's move on to power forward. Already talked about AD and Sabonis. Already talked about Siakam. Jason Tatum at 7.6. Seems priced about right. This is probable. No one really stands out for Boston for me, except for Cantor, and that's if Daniel Tice is out. Then I would like Cantor a good amount. Let's see. Yeah, so the Philadelphia guys I do like. I like their prices a good amount. Horford I like. I like Tobias's price. And the slight concern with Tobias is he is at times scoring dependent, like he will get rebounds, but sometimes he can have a pretty low floor if he's not knocking down his shots, kind of like we saw here against the Pacers. But I do like a lot of the Philly guys here, especially Horford, especially Tobias, and especially Ben Simmons. I think all three stand out as pretty good options there against Brooklyn. Let's see other options. Bielitsa, so even with Bagley back, still played 33 minutes now. We cannot expect him to shoot 13 of 16 and 8 of 10 for the three, right? So I'm okay if you land on him, but I think that's kind of chasing, right? I do not think we can expect him to shoot like 80% again. Carmelo Anthony, technically a revenge game, right? He played for Houston for, 5-10 games. The good thing about him here is the minutes, right? He's going to get about 35 or so. This matchup, again, should be played at a really fast pace, 236. So I'm actually okay with Melo, even at a price point. I don't think he's like the best play, but I'm fine if you land on him in like a last filler spot. So the secondary Washington pieces are still priced up because Brad Beal's out. We have Brad Beal back, so it just definitely takes those secondary Washington guys out of play. Other options, yeah, so Kuzma, I know he was a letdown the last game with no AD, but you can look to him if Anthony Davis gets ruled out, or Proudmack made that news before lock. Bertans at 5.5. Has played 21 and 26 minutes now in 2 straight games. So this is something to keep an eye on. If he's going to be off the minutes limit, I would like him a good amount. But, maybe they're still easing him into it. Hopefully we get some clarity on that before lock as well. Let's see. Other options, yeah, there's not a whole lot I like here. The other Raptors guys now, it seems like everyone's healthy, so OG doesn't really stand out too much at that price. Mason Plumlee is okay value option. Not going to play the big minutes, but should get a little bit more with Paul Millsap out. I'm fine with that, but really doesn't stand out as a great play. Ariza is viable. Again, he can have somewhat low floor, kind of like we saw this last game. He needs to hit those corner threes. So he is a little up and down. I'm okay with him as well. I don't think he stands out as a great option, though. Naz Reid, you can always take a shot there. He's got 18 minutes in back-to-back games. If Cat is out, you can look to him. But that basically wraps it up here. So let's move on to small forward. And we have Luke at the top at 12.1. Um, so I'm definitely fine with him at this price. It makes it tricky though because there's not a whole lot of great value plays, at least right now, that stand out. If Porzingis is out again, I'm fine with it for sure. I think he goes a bit lower owned. Sacramento had been playing at a slower pace, but with De'Aaron Fox in the lineup, they played a much faster pace. So I'm okay with Luka. I think he goes very low owned. It's just, what do you have to sacrifice to get him in? LeBron, how did he not have a bigger game the last night against Cleveland? I think in his first half, he only had like 10 fantasy points. Just insane. He stepped up in the second half, but still, with no Anthony Davis, his upside should be massive. He just had kind of an off night. Now, if Anthony Davis gets ruled out, you can definitely look to LeBron, who's going to have to do a whole lot offensively. But yeah, these Philly guys, I like a lot of the Philly guys today. I already talked about Al Horford and Tobias. I really like Ben Simmons as well. I know the price is creeping up there, but he's a guy that, again, he gets those peripheral stats. When he's scoring the ball well, he can have a huge upside game. We've seen 50, 60, 78 fantasy points, right? So Ben Simmons, we know the ceiling is pretty high on him. And obviously, again, no Joel Embiid. That's a lot of usage to go around. So I like a lot of Philadelphia today, especially those three of Simmons, Horford, and Tobias Harris. I also don't mind Jimmy Butler at 8.6. With him, we know he's going to get about 35 or so minutes. San Antonio, one of the worst defensive teams this year. They're playing at also really fast pace, which is good for Jimmy Butler. So I do think Jimmy Butler is a little bit underpriced here. I think he stands as a pretty good option. Brad Beal. So in his first game back, he missed about a couple weeks there. He only played 27 minutes. So this is something to keep an eye on, right? They kind of limited his minutes. If he's not going to be on a minutes limit, I would really like him at this price. But my best guess is they're going to, again, kind of ease him into it. So there's a lot of guys we have to keep an eye on here for Washington. Beal, Thomas Bryant, Bertans. Hopefully we get some clarity on whether those guys are not, or whether or not they're going to be on minutes limits. DeMar DeRozan, 7.9, seems priced about right. He has been playing really well, but at this price and that bad matchup, I'll probably pass. Will Barton at 7K. I'm always fine with some Will Barton. He did have an off game the last time out, but we know he's going to get, probably mid-30s minutes in a close game. So I'm fine with him. Let's see. Other options. Yeah, the Boston guys, no one really stands out to me. I'm okay if you land on one of those wings, but really my main interest there would be Cantor if Daniel Tice can't go. Josh Richardson is probably my fourth favorite player. He's still, the good thing with him is just the minutes, right, for him. 37, 34, 34, 36 minutes. He's a little bit up and down, but I'm okay with him as well at this price. I think I prefer Horford, Tobias, and Ben Simmons to him, but if you feel strongly about Josh Richardson, I have no issue. We know he's going to play the big minutes for sure in a close game. Let's see. Other options, not super high on Fournier there, that price. TJ Warren with Brogdon as a bonus back, probably not for me. Powell with everyone back, it's just, kind of a fade there. Aaron Gordon in a tough spot, I'll probably pass. Let's see. Other options. Yeah, there's not a whole lot here. Like Chris Dunn at 5.1, it's a really good spot. I'm fine with that. He's a little up and down, but this could be a game where he has an upside game. Eric Gordon with Westbrook back, can't go there. Thad Young at 5K, if he starts out of more interest, he's only played 20 and 24 minutes in the last couple of games, so we'll see. If he picks up a start, again, I would have a little bit more interest there. Bogdan is questioned or doubtful, so don't expect him to go. So that's definitely a boost to, usage boost to De'Aaron Fox and Buddy Hield, even Bielitsa, and then like Trevor Rizzo should probably still get some decent run. Let's see. Other options. Derek Jones Jr. 4.4. The bad thing is the minutes have been going down with him. 23 and only 19 in close games. We still have no wins though, but again, I don't think I can do it with those minutes trending down. Bazemore at 4K, probably gets close to 30 minutes. He's not very good fantasy-wise, but at 4K on a slate that kind of lacks some value, I'm fine with it. Svi Mikhailuk actually had a decent game the last game against the Pelicans, 34 minutes, 27 fantasy points. My issue is he is kind of scoring dependent. We have seen a pretty low floor right there at the game against Cleveland, but the slate does lack value plays, and if he's going to continue to start and play over 30 minutes, I'm okay with him as well as a value option. So Nick Batum, it's just these Charlotte rotations are so they're so up and down. So he had been out of the rotation for a few weeks, then comes back and plays 32 and 31 minutes. I just never know what to make of Charlotte in their rotations. Obviously, if he plays 30 minutes, I'm fine with him as value play, but I don't think that's necessarily secure. I think that's basically it, though. So let's talk about shooting guard. Harden at 12.4. It feels like a lot, but again, if you are comfortable with the value guys that you have to play to get him in, I'm perfectly fine with a spend up Harden here. I think he is going to go a bit lower owned tonight compared to what he was owned tonight. He was really high owned with no Westbrook, obviously. He can still get you there for sure. Even with Westbrook back, he can still get you there in this type of game. Again, 236 over under. So you're going to probably want some exposure to this game. I'm fine with Harden as a spend up. It's just, what do you have to sacrifice to get him in there? I also like Zach LaVine. One of the better matchups here against Washington. The concern is just the price, right? 9.3. That's getting tough. I still think he can get you there at that price, but it kind of feels like a lot to pay for him. Let's see, SGA. I don't think I want to chase that big game. I know he just had out of 20 points and 20 rebounds for what? 20 rebounds for SGA? That is just a complete anomaly. I would not chase that 65 or 66 fantasy point game. He's probably going to be a lot higher owned because of that last game. I'm going to fade here in a tough spot. I'll let others chase that big game. Let's see. CJ McCollum is perfectly fine here in the mid-range. You get exposure to a high over-under if you play him, right? 36-42 in the last couple of games. Again, this game's being played at a really fast pace, so I do like CJ decent amount there in the mid-range. I also have some interest in Malcolm Brogdon here at 6.7. I thought they were going to limit him in the first game back. Played 34 minutes. So that's obviously really good to see. This match against Minnesota is a pretty good matchup, right? Minnesota not very good defensively at all. They played at a fast pace, so I have some interest in Malcolm Brogdon here at this price. I thought they were going to kind of ease him in, but first game back, 34 minutes. So I do like Malcolm Brogdon a decent amount there. We have Jamal Murray. I believe he's probable. Oh, he's questionable. I thought I listed him as probable. So this is pretty big news. They also have Gary Harris questionable. If Jamal Murray can't go, then Monte Morris probably becomes the best value play of the day. If Gary Harris can't go, then whoever starts would become a good value play, whether it be like Malik Beasley or whoever else. Be careful, though. I don't think I would consider Michael Porter Jr. if he doesn't start, right? We've seen what Mike Malone just hates, does not want to give him minutes. So this is obviously huge news. If Jamal Murray can't go, I think Monte Morris would probably be the best value play of the day. If Jamal Murray plays, I don't mind him at 6.8. Obviously, he can get you 40, 50 on a good night. Derrick Rose is 6.7. Has been playing more minutes now. That game against the Pelicans did go to overtime, right? So don't expect 37 from him. It's a tougher spot. He seems priced about right. I think he's more of just a GPP option. Terry Rozier, kind of the same thing. I like that he's been getting big minutes, but this is a really bad match against Denver on the road. Definitely some blowout risk there. Let's see, other options for shooting guard. Don't mind Schroeder coming out the bench there as a GPP option. Let's see. The Miami guys, Nunn, Hero, Dragic, all kind of splitting minutes. I don't really think anyone stands out there. Napier, Culver. Again, if you want to take a shot at one of those Minnesota guys for GPPs, that's fine. I really can't trust the minutes for any of them. Other options, let's see. There's not a whole lot I like here, I don't think. Yeah, Caruso, I guess, is okay with no Rondo. Played 23 minutes, but yeah, like I said, I guess he's an okay value play at that price. Thibault, 3.5. 20 and 28 minutes. Now, he's a very, very low usage guy. But again, good to see they got 28 minutes. I'm fine with him if you're going more stars than scrubs, if you're trying to jam in some of those guys up top, right, like Harden or Doncic. I don't hate, taking a shot there. He's just, again, you got to hope for probably like 15 to 20 from him, fantasy point-wise. But that basically wraps up shooting guard. So let's talk about point guard here, and then I can get out of here. Already talked about Harden and Doncic, right? If you have the salary for them, no issue. LeBron obviously gets a huge boost if Anthony Davis is out. But again, that is the late game. Westbrook at 9.6. I do like the price for him. He's been playing really good basketball. This matchup, right, 236 over under. Portland not very good defensively. So this game in general really stands out as a good game to get some pieces to. I do like Westbrook at this price. So yeah, I'm perfectly fine with him as more of a spend up. I also really like Damian Lillard at 9K. He just always seems to step it up in the big games. This is obviously a big game. Price at 9K. He's been, a little bit more up and down. Hasn't had the huge games recently. Did have 62, about 5 games ago. But I do have some mention Lillard for sure. If you want cheaper exposure, again, you could look to guys CJ McCollum for a couple thousand less. I'm fine with that. Kyle Lowry, now we have everyone back, right, besides Fred VanVleet. I still think we probably get about 40 minutes or so from Kyle Lowry, so I think he does stand out as a good cash game option. I don't think he's going to kill you because of the minutes, right? But his usage definitely will go down a little bit with everyone coming back, besides, again, Fred VanVleet still out. I also like De'Aaron Fox a good amount. I know it's, a mediocre match against Dallas. I liked him a lot there for GPPs. I couldn't pull the trigger the last game. He had 37 minutes, 60 fancy points. So his upside is massive right now, especially if Bogdan is out. That's just a lot. The Sacramento's pretty thin. So it's really good to see the 36, 38, and 37 minutes. So I like De'Aaron Fox a good amount here. Even at 8K, I think there's still some room there. So I do think he stands as a pretty good option. Kyrie, I'm interested to see what he plays tonight. We'll see. If he plays closer to 30 minutes, and obviously you can look to Kyrie here at 7.9K. So again, I'm curious to see what he plays with his minutes tonight. Yeah, the Charlotte guys, he's not super excited about them in a really bad spot there against Denver. Will Barton would obviously get a boost if Jamal Murray can't go, right? Other options, Chris Paul was a huge letdown. Luckily, I avoided that landmine, but 30 minutes, 20 fancy points. One of his worst games of the season. I'm okay with that at 6.6 if you want a very, very low-owned guy, right? Because everyone burned him. No one's going to play him for GPPs. Dinwiddie, I still can't go there with Kyrie back. Ish Smith's price is way up with a lot of the Washington guys back. Can't go there. Again, Dragic at 5.5. Like, they're just kind of him, none, Hero kind of splitting the minutes. I don't really think anyone stands out. Other options, LeVert at 5.1. Don't mind it. I want to see what he plays tonight as well. If he gets closer to 30 minutes, I would have more interest in LeVert there. Teague, right? You can always take shots. These Minnesota guys, I just can't recommend any of them with confidence for cash games. Other options, Rondo out, so Caruso should get a little bit more run. I'm fine with him as a value play. Yeah, Monte Morris, right? So if Jamal Murray can't go, he'd be probably the best value play of the day. So that's always something to keep an eye on. And if Gary Harris misses, we'll see who they would start, whether it be like Malik Beasley or someone else. But if Gary Harris is out, whoever would start would become a viable value option as well for Denver. But I think that basically wraps it up. So, as of right now, as I make this video on 8 p.m. Tuesday night, there's not a whole lot of great value plays. But, some could open up, right? If Jamal Murray gets ruled out, Monte Morris. I think Cody Zeller is a pretty solid value play. A couple other guys have talked about. As far as games and game stacks go, as for GPPs, I think, obviously the Portland-Houston game does really stand out. But a lot of guys expensive there. But again, 236 over under, so there's a lot of interest in that game for me. As far as the late night hammer here, again, hopefully we get the AD news before lock, but we probably won't. As far as Dallas and Sacramento go, I like De'Aaron Fox a good amount. Don't mind Doncic, again, if you can fit the salary to get him in there. Charlotte, it's kind of Cody Zeller. It stands out, and that's about it. Denver, there's a lot of question marks, right? So that's something to keep an eye on. Washington, there's also a bunch of question marks here with, minutes for Beal, Bertans, and Thomas Bryant. On the Chicago side, I like Levine, but his price is up. Toronto, OKC, Toronto finally getting more healthy, so no one really stands out. Now, Siakam's not going to be in a minutes limit. I think he would be a pretty decent play. Also, don't mind Kyle Lowry for cash games. On the OKC side, I think I'm going to pass on SGA. I think his ownership will be inflated. As far as Indiana, I think Sabonis and Malcolm Brogdon especially stand out in a really good matchup. Minnesota guys, all of them only GPP options. As far as San Antonio and Miami, no one really stands out on the San Antonio side for me. On Miami, it's kind of Jimmy Butler. Brooklyn, Kyrie, if he plays more minutes. Again, I'm curious to see what he plays tonight, as well as Karis LeVert. I'm curious to see what both those guys played. If they played more minutes, then I have more confidence in them. But again, it is a back-to-back as well. On the Philadelphia side, I like a lot of the Philly guys, especially Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris, and Al Horford. And the Detroit-Boston, kind of some question marks there with Detroit, right? Drummond in his minutes and Christian Wood in his minutes. On the Boston side, it's really Cantor that stands out for me, especially if Daniel Tice can't go. I think that's going to do it for today's video, guys. So if you have been enjoying the content, would really appreciate it if you'd like this video and subscribe. Again, if you want to get entered in the giveaway, all you have to do is a like and a comment in the video if you want to enter in the giveaway. I will be live streaming for this 10-game slate 45 minutes before lock, so be sure to check out my live stream. I will go over all the news that we had throughout the day, as well as kind of give you guys my core plays. I'll go game by game, talk about who I like, as well as answer your guys' questions at the end. So very, very important to follow me or to check out the live stream, as well as follow me on Twitter. That will be in the description below. I will give my thoughts again as we get that news throughout the day on Twitter as well. But thanks again for everyone to come and check out the video, guys, and I will see you all tomorrow in the live stream.